The hidden reasons why most people don't live past 80. 5 surprising factors that cut years off your life. Did you realize that while Americans average around 80 years of life, there's a fascinating divide between those who barely reach this age and others who thrive well into their 90s? And here's the surprising part. It's not just about your genes. Scientists have uncovered specific factors that separate those who struggle from those who flourish in their later years. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on 5 unexpected factors quietly determining how long you'll live, things your doctor probably never mentions during your checkups. And that 4th factor? It actually shocked researchers in a recent longevity study. Yet it's something you can start changing today, regardless of your current health situation. We're not talking about the obvious stuff like smoking or carrying extra weight. These are the subtle, invisible forces that are silently determining whether you'll be blowing out 90 candles surrounded by your loved ones or facing serious health challenges much earlier. I want you to meet someone quite remarkable, Dr. Victoria Matthews, a specialist in aging who has fundamentally changed how we understand growing older. Throughout her 35-year career, Dr. Matthews noticed something fascinating. Patients with nearly identical medical backgrounds, similar lifestyles, and comparable genetic profiles were aging at dramatically different rates. Some were thriving into their 90s with sharp minds and active bodies, while others experienced rapid decline in their early 70s. What she uncovered through years of careful research forms the foundation of today's video. Her findings reveal that certain overlooked factors might matter more than traditional health measurements when it comes to living beyond 80. Before we continue, I'm curious about something. Have you noticed differences between friends or relatives who've aged gracefully versus those who declined earlier? The patterns you've observed might line up perfectly with what we're about to discuss. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might help someone else in our community. If you're interested in not just living longer, but living better, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This simple action helps others discover this potentially life-changing information and supports our mission to help you thrive, not just survive. Factor 1. The silent killer as dangerous as smoking. The first hidden factor dramatically impacting longevity is something researchers now consider as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes every day: social isolation and loneliness. An eye-opening study from Brigham Young University discovered that social isolation increases your risk of early death by a whopping 29%. Let that sink in for a moment. Being disconnected from others is as dangerous to your health as smoking almost a pack of cigarettes daily. Dr. Matthews observed this pattern throughout her career. I could often predict which patients would decline quickly simply by noticing changes in their social connections, she notes. Those who maintained strong community ties consistently outlived those who became isolated, even when the isolated patients looked healthier on paper. Take James, a 76-year-old widower who relocated across the country to be closer to his daughter after his wife passed away. On paper, it seemed like the perfect plan: better health care in the new city and family nearby. But within 18 months, James's health deteriorated dramatically. What medical tests couldn't measure, Dr. Matthews explained, was that James had left behind a 40-year social network, his morning coffee group, his volunteer community, neighbors who checked on him daily. Despite living closer to family, his actual daily human interactions dropped by over 80%. The science behind this is fascinating. Loneliness triggers a physical stress response that increases inflammation throughout your body, weakens your immune system, and even changes how your genes express themselves. Your body literally ages faster when you're isolated. But there's good news. You can rebuild connections at any age. First, try technology platforms specifically designed for seniors. Beyond regular video calls, check out services like GrandPad or Senior Planet that create meaningful connections based on shared interests, not just family ties. Second, look for structured local programs with consistent schedules. The regularity creates accountability. Senior centers, community colleges, and faith organizations often offer programs specifically designed to build ongoing relationships, not just one-time events. Third, rebuild connections after major life changes using the concentric circles approach. Start with just one weekly commitment that puts you around the same people regularly, then gradually expand outward. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. What social connection has kept you feeling vibrant through the years? Or if you found yourself becoming isolated, what's one small step you could take this week to start rebuilding your social world? Share in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. But as important as social connections are, they alone aren't enough if you're missing the second critical factor that separates those who thrive from those who merely survive past 80. Factor 2. Why some people age backwards after retirement. Our second longevity factor comes from fascinating research in the world's blue zones, regions where people routinely live beyond 100. This research revealed something remarkable. People with a clear sense of purpose, what Okinawans call ikigai, or reason for being, lived an average of 7 to 10 years longer than those without it. Dr. Matthews' observations confirmed this finding. She tracked patients after retirement and discovered those who maintained meaningful roles showed significantly slower mental and physical decline compared to those who viewed retirement as merely a time for leisure. There's a dangerous misconception in our culture, Dr. Matthews explains. We think retirement should be all about relaxation, golfing, cruising, taking it easy. But the human brain and body weren't designed for decades of leisure. They were built for purpose. The biology behind this is fascinating. Having a clear purpose actually affects your physical body, reducing stress hormones like cortisol, lowering inflammation markers, and even protecting telomeres, those protective caps on your DNA that determine how quickly your cells age. One of Dr. Matthews' most striking case studies involves Patricia, a 72-year-old former teacher. After retirement, Patricia initially focused on her small backyard garden. But when she learned about food insecurity in her community, she transformed her hobby into something bigger. She organized neighbors, secured an unused lot, and created a community garden that now feeds dozens of families. What's remarkable, Dr. Matthews notes, is that Patricia's arthritis symptoms, which had been worsening, stabilized, and even improved despite more physical activity. Her inflammation markers dropped significantly, and her cognitive abilities remained sharp over years when most would show decline. Dr. Matthews recommends 3 practical approaches to finding your purpose. First, identify your unique contribution beyond your career identity. Ask yourself, what problems can I help solve with my lifetime of wisdom and skills? The key is feeling genuinely needed, not just busy. Second, try using the Japanese Ikigai framework, which identifies the sweet spot between what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what can sustain you. Third, start small but commit consistently. Purpose doesn't require grand gestures. Reliable weekly volunteering often provides more meaning than occasional big events. Quick question, what gives you a reason to hop out of bed in the morning? Share your purpose in the comments, no matter how simple or profound. Your answer might inspire someone else who's searching. But even with strong social connections and clear purpose, many seniors unknowingly sabotage their longevity with the third factor that silently shortens lives after 70. Factor 3. The danger lurking in your medicine cabinet. The third factor silently cutting seniors' lives short might be sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. Did you know the average American over 65 takes more than 5 prescription medications daily? This doesn't even count over-the-counter drugs and supplements. What most people don't realize is something doctors call the medication cascade, a dangerous domino effect where the side effects of one medication are misinterpreted as a new medical condition, which is then treated with another medication, and then another, and another. Dr. Matthews witnessed this pattern repeatedly throughout her career. I've seen countless patients whose health declined not from their original conditions, but from the combined effects of all their medications, she explains. One of my patients was taking 14 different prescriptions from 3 different specialists who never communicated with each other. The consequences are severe. A Johns Hopkins study found that polypharmacy, taking multiple medications, is responsible for nearly 30% of all hospitalizations in older adults. Think about that. Almost 1/3 of seniors hospitalized not because of their underlying illness, but because of problems with their medications. Dr. Matthews recommends 4 practical strategies to protect yourself. First, request a comprehensive medication review with a clinical pharmacist or geriatric specialist at least once a year. This is different from your regular doctor visits. It's a specific appointment focused solely on reviewing all your medications together, including over-the-counter products and supplements. Second, Ask these 3 questions about each medication you take. What specific symptom or condition does this treat? What would happen if I stopped taking it? Are there non-drug alternatives? Many medications started years ago may no longer be necessary. Third, learn about the deprescribing movement, a medically supported approach to safely reducing unnecessary medications. The Canadian Deprescribing Network offers excellent resources you can bring to your next appointment. Fourth, use medication management tools beyond the basic pill organizer. Apps like Medisafe can help track medications and identify potential interactions, while some pharmacies offer special packaging that groups medications by time of day. I'm curious, when was the last time you had all your medications reviewed together? Or have you successfully worked with your doctor to reduce your medications? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could help someone else take this crucial step. But even with your medications optimized, the fourth factor could still be silently affecting your longevity. It's one that even many healthcare professionals overlook, yet addressing it could add years to your life. Factor 4. The surprising connection that shocked researchers. The fourth factor, the one that surprised medical researchers, centers around what scientists now call inflammaging, the chronic, low-grade inflammation that silently accelerates aging throughout your body. Recent research has uncovered a surprising connection that wasn't understood even 10 years ago. The profound relationship between your gut health, brain function, and whole body inflammation. This isn't just about digestive comfort. It's about how quickly your entire body ages. Dr. Matthews noticed a pattern among her long-lived patients versus those who declined rapidly. Patients with ongoing digestive issues invariably showed accelerated aging across multiple systems: cardiovascular, cognitive, and musculoskeletal. Initially, we thought these were separate problems, but now we understand they're all interconnected through inflammation pathways. The science is compelling. Studies show that gut microbiome diversity naturally decreases as we age, but this decline happens much faster in developed countries where processed foods dominate diets. This loss of diversity directly correlates with increased inflammation and accelerated aging. What makes this particularly important for seniors is that after 65, your body's response to inflammatory triggers becomes more pronounced while your recovery capacity diminishes, creating the perfect storm for accelerated aging. The good news? Dr. Matthews documented remarkable turnarounds when patients addressed this factor. Take Thomas, a 75-year-old with concerning inflammatory markers and early memory changes. After 6 months of focused gut health interventions, his inflammatory markers normalized, his cognitive assessments improved, and even his arthritis symptoms diminished. Dr. Matthews recommends for evidence-based approaches specifically for older adults. First, adopt anti-inflammatory eating patterns tailored for seniors, particularly the Mediterranean or MIND diet, but with adjustments that account for age-related changes in digestion and nutrient absorption. Second, strategically rebuild gut health through properly timed prebiotic and probiotic foods. For seniors, timing matters. Consuming these foods at specific intervals rather than all at once shows better results. Third, eliminate often missed inflammatory triggers common in seniors' environments, including certain medications, household chemicals, and even seemingly healthy supplements that may trigger inflammation in older bodies. Fourth, incorporate the right types of fiber and fermented foods specifically suited for older digestive systems. Not all fiber works equally well for seniors. Soluble fiber sources like oats and legumes often show better results than insoluble fiber sources. Hey there! Has anyone noticed connections between your digestive health and overall energy levels? What foods seem to make you feel your best? Share your experiences below. But even with these 4 factors addressed, there's a 5th element that silently determines whether you'll thrive into your 90s or struggle in your 70s. Factor 5. The sleep-stress connection that determines your aging speed. The 5th and final factor that separates those who thrive beyond 80 from those who struggle involves the delicate relationship between stress response and sleep quality, a connection that becomes increasingly critical after age 65. The Harvard Longitudinal Aging Study tracked participants for over 2 decades and found something remarkable. The cumulative impact of stress response patterns was a stronger predictor of longevity than cholesterol levels, blood pressure, or even genetic factors. But what makes this especially relevant for seniors is how stress and sleep become intimately connected as we age. What we've discovered, Dr. Matthews explains, is a two-way relationship that can either speed up or slow down aging. Poor sleep amplifies your stress response, while elevated stress hormones destroy sleep quality, creating either a vicious cycle of decline or a virtuous cycle of resilience. This relationship becomes even more important after 65 because both your sleep patterns and stress response mechanisms naturally change with age. Your internal body clock shifts, deep sleep decreases, and your body's ability to manage stress hormones diminishes. Dr. Matthews' research revealed that patients with consistent quality sleep showed dramatically slower rates of cognitive decline, up to 70% less than those with poor sleep patterns. The brain literally cleans itself during specific sleep phases, she notes. Without these cleaning cycles, inflammatory proteins accumulate, accelerating cognitive aging. Consider Elizabeth, a 72-year-old former teacher who came to Dr. Matthews with concerning memory changes and persistent anxiety. Traditional approaches had failed her. Through integrated sleep stress management specifically designed for her age, Elizabeth saw remarkable improvements within 3 months. Her memory assessments improved, her inflammatory markers decreased, and her self-reported quality of life scores increased by 40%. Dr. Matthews recommends 4 age-appropriate interventions that differ significantly from generic advice. First, implement senior-specific sleep hygiene that accounts for age-related changes. This includes counterintuitive approaches like a slightly warmer, not cooler, sleeping environment and strategic light exposure based on shifted circadian rhythms. Second, adopt stress management techniques validated specifically for older adults. Research shows techniques like mindfulness-based stress reduction and heart rate variability training show stronger results in seniors than in younger adults. Third, optimize the timing of rest and activity. After 65, the traditional 16 hours awake/8 hours sleep pattern becomes less effective. Breaking your day into alternating periods of engagement and restoration shows better results. Fourth, understand why traditional sleep advice often fails seniors. Common recommendations like avoid naps or maintain a consistent bedtime need significant modification after 65 to account for natural age-related changes in sleep architecture. I'm curious, what's your biggest sleep challenge? Or have you found something that's improved your sleep quality? Your experience might hold the key that helps someone else in our community. Putting it all together, the virtuous cycle of longevity. These 5 factors we've discussed aren't isolated issues. They form an interconnected web that either accelerates or slows your aging process. What makes Dr. Matthews' approach so powerful is understanding how these elements amplify each other, creating either a downward spiral or what she calls a virtuous cycle of longevity. When we address these factors in the right sequence, Dr. Matthews explains, we see cascading benefits that go far beyond what we'd expect from addressing each factor individually. Her research identified the optimal sequence for maximum impact. Begin with medication review and adjustment. Then address inflammation and gut health, which creates the physiological foundation for better stress response and sleep quality. With this improved physical baseline, patients can more effectively build social connections and discover meaningful purpose. This sequencing creates a powerful upward spiral. For example, reducing inflammatory burden improves sleep quality, which enhances stress resilience, which makes social engagement more enjoyable, which further reduces inflammation, creating an upward spiral of improvement. What's remarkable is how quickly some changes can be felt. Within days of addressing medication cascades, many patients report increased energy and mental clarity. Within weeks of implementing anti-inflammatory strategies, joint pain often diminishes. Within 1 to 2 months of improving sleep quality, cognitive function typically shows measurable improvement. And within 3 to 6 months of building purposeful social connections, even biomarkers of aging can begin to reverse. Dr. Matthews developed a simple daily checklist to address all 5 factors. 1. Take medications intentionally, questioning any new symptoms. 2. Include at least 3 anti-inflammatory foods daily. 3. Practice 1 stress regulation technique before noon. 4. Prioritize sleep quality using age-appropriate techniques. 5. Engage in at least 1 meaningful social connection or purposeful activity. To recap what we've covered, The 5 often overlooked factors silently determining your longevity are social isolation and loneliness, loss of purpose and meaning, medication cascade effects, chronic inflammation and gut health. The critical relationship between stress response and sleep quality. When addressed together, these factors create a foundation for not just longer life, but vibrant health well into your 90s and beyond. What's most remarkable about Dr. Matthews' research is the incredible adaptability and resilience of the human body, even at advanced ages. The outdated belief that decline is inevitable after a certain age has been thoroughly disproven by modern science. I've seen patients completely transform their health trajectory even in their 80s when they address these factors, Dr. Matthews emphasizes. One 86-year-old gentleman came to me using a walker, taking 12 medications, and showing signs of cognitive decline. 18 months later, after systematically addressing these 5 factors, he was traveling independently, taking just 3 medications, and his cognitive assessments had improved to levels typical of someone a decade younger. This is perhaps the most empowering truth we can embrace as we age. Many aspects of what we consider inevitable aging are actually choices, not inevitabilities. The decline many fear isn't programmed into your DNA. It's the culmination of these 5 often overlooked factors that silently shape your longevity. The research is clear. Addressing these factors doesn't just add years to your life, it adds life to your years. It's the difference between merely existing past 80 and truly thriving well into your 90s. Which of these 5 factors surprised you most or resonated with your own experience? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own transformation. If you found value in today's video, please hit the like button to help others find this information. And if you're committed to aging on your own terms, subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based insights that could add years to your life and life to your years.